The Human Torch was denied a bank loan.
It's not even a tongue twister.
And we're ready to go.
What the fuck is going on? What is up, everybody, and welcome into the pregame show.
Air horns.
Baby.
Saturday
I
show.
can't co-sign on that. We need to react to something. I made this very clear.
Hey, we were talking. People were talking here in the pregame studio. Vibes today, immaculate in the DNVR bar. Full? Popping? It is popping right now. We got Nuggets tonight. We got
Double
Avs. We got Buffs. Triple feature.
Oh, the parlay.
Your Buffs.
My
Your
Buffs.
Harrison's Buffs.
So vibes are feeling good, guys. I hope you guys are all having a great weekend and feeling these vibes as well. We're presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download it now because here in about 20 minutes, we're going to be telling you how you can make money. Actually, Eric is. I've been off. I cede this to you.
You know what? And actually, you want to tune in because I got a pick from Dev, so it'll probably hit.
He phoned in a pick.
Yeah, he DM'd me a pick. Dev slid into my DMs.
Oh, wow.
Right there.
Wow.
I don't want to give you all of the info, but I just did it. He gave me a pick.
So you can see no Dev today, but I do have this man in this beautiful leather jacket. It's Brennan Vogt.
I gotta go. You go no Dev, but you lead with me.
Yeah, what
my stonks are already down tonight.
Is that a
Just on
neg?
principle because I'm not Dev.
And also, Dev's also not over here. It's just Eric.
There we go.
Yeah, that's true. No Dev, just me.
But we do have the man with the wind in his hair. He's not at Ball Arena tonight. Nuggets on the road for a while, actually. We're going to have him in studio for a bit. It's Harrison
You
Wind.
guys will have to get used to me.
Listen, brother.
We're always used to you.
It's not about getting used to. It's just we have to pace ourselves because it's just like a pleasure overload every time I see you.
I'm at Ball Arena for a couple days. I come back to the studio, and Vogt looks like a guy right out of The Great Gatsby.
I know.
And,
I mean, I love the look. I love
man.
it.
I'm turning a new leaf. I'm fashionable now.
Vogt motored over here. He had his little goggles on and driving.
It was a moped. It was a moped.
Did you take a moped?
I did.
Well, I do think it's funny because you always wear snow boots.
Yeah.
Well, it's snowing outside.
No, it's not
No, it's
snowing.
not.
Well,
It's
there's
not.
snow on the
No,
ground.
there's not. That was overkill.
You're living in an East Coast world.
That
dude.
is true. You got to get used to Colorado, man.
There's snow in my yard. Grow up. Leave me alone.
All right, guys, we have a good show for you today to get us ready for this game against the Oklahoma City Thunder on this Saturday. We're going to look back at the month of February and talk about what happened in it. Kind of. There's some positives, some negatives. We're going to talk about the guys that are still out. This included PJ Dozier on the list, but he's back tonight. But we're going to talk about who do the Nuggets need most. Kind of rank those. And then later in the show, of course, we're going to give you a can't miss bets. But first, Harrison.
Is this inspired by the fact by how badly we need Dev here, but we don't have him?
That is exactly what it's inspired by. Harrison, first of all, what did Michael Malone have to say at his pregame presser today?
Not much. We had some technical difficulties on the pregame presser. I think maybe the second time that's happened this year. So Michael Malone got two questions in. One was about PJ Dozier. He made it sound like PJ Dozier was back, and I think the Nuggets Twitter account just put it out. He is back officially, and
Can you confirm that?
I think this is a big deal, to be honest. PJ Dozier, I don't think we give him the proper due of how valuable he might be to this Nuggets team. He is a key cog. He is an absolute key piece of this rotation. So I think he'll probably play a big role tonight.
I also heard it. Let's just keep moving.
PJ Dozier is active against him.
Yeah, he is active. We'll just disregard from the peanut gallery over here. Nobody clip that. Nobody clip that and tag me. Nobody clip that.
It's too late.
I would say he's a huge cog. I think he's maybe the biggest cog.
Yeah, he's like
That's a very
an intimidating
normal phrase to use.
Yeah,
he's like
I
an
don't-
intimidatingly large cog. Like when you
You
go
guys
into
got your mind in the wrong place.
if you go into the locker room, you see a cog.
All
that size.
right, we're going too far.
So PJ Dozier back.
Okay, perfect.
For the Thunder. So the Thunder have won two straight. They've got some nice momentum here.
Yeah.
But the big injury for them, Hamidou Diallo, who had 16 points against Denver a couple weeks ago, I think, he's out tonight. George Hill is also out. But everybody else is playing. Poku is not playing. He's in the G League bubble. Had a big game the other night too. I don't know if
It's
you
where he
guys saw.
belongs. He's a G League player.
He's going to be a G League All-Star, I think.
Yeah.
Poku and Paul Reed. They're just going to go head to head for the title this year.
Your boy.
My boy Paul
Your
Reed,
boy.
tearing it up.
Yeah, but just some measurables on the Thunder. They're 28th in offense, so I guess that bodes well for Denver's struggling defense.
Maybe. I don't know.
They are 11th in defense as well. So we'll see if the Nuggets can score against these guys.
Just some great notes. Do we have a starting lineup?
We do have a starting lineup. Same starters: Jamal Murray, Monte Morris, Will Barton, Michael Porter Jr., Nikola Jokic. Porter at the 4 again.
Okay.
No surprises.
Yeah, I like it. Well, there's a lot to talk about. I mean, I guess we're going to talk about PJ Dozier here in just a little bit and what he brings to the table, how much we expect him to play, and some of those things. But I do want to move on and start to recap the month of February here because we are at the final game of February. And what a month it was. So I had to go back and check this. The Nuggets opened February as the number 4 ranked team in the Western Conference.
They were on a heater.
I sent a victory lap tweet.
They
aging
opened
really
with
poorly.
a postponement, if you guys remember.
That was game number 1?
Yeah.
Oh, so that was
February
game number
1st.
1. Yeah, I should have
Harbinger.
Yeah,
Harbinger of
very
things to come.
ominous sign.
Yeah.
But the Nuggets go 5-7 in this month. And we're going to talk about some of the reasons why.
About to be 6 and
But
7.
here's reasons that you never would have guessed if I told you
you,
this. Jokic in the month of February so far, 27 points per game, actually 27.3, 9.6 rebounds, so almost 10, 8.1 assists. That's about his season averages, actually. But the shooting percentage, 54% from the field, 47 from 3. 47% from 3 this month,
Locked in.
96.4% from the foul line. You go back down to Jamal Murray, 25.8 points per game, 5.2 rebounds, 4.9 assists, 51, 45, 87 shooting split. So same thing. Both guys shooting over 45% from the three-point line in this month. Jamal Murray on 8 attempts per game. He has been on fire. To your point, go ahead. You can go ahead.
Jamal Murray he's back.
He is back, man. This was it really is the last 7 or 8 games. I don't know, maybe 9. I don't remember what it is.
Saying, dude.
But he has been just absolutely on fire offensively, and even though it's been a little bit up and down, it's been more up than anything.
The points have been straight up. The quality of play outside of that has been
for
up
everyone,
and
though.
down. Yeah, but specifically for Jamal Murray, like we were talking about, like his point totals are undeniable. You just look at him. You know, it's like 20 points minimum every single game. Gets up into the 30s and the 40s sometimes, but his defense slips. He's not consistent through 4 quarters.
Same is true of Jokic.
But you see in his eyes, right?
Yeah,
You see that.
I'll tell you
fire.
what's also up for Jamal Murray. He's averaging 8 3-point attempts in the month of February. He averaged 5.8 per game in the month of January.
Yeah. That's a meaningful, like 2 per game doesn't sound like that much, but that's a meaningful amount. So what went wrong? Well, here's a couple things. You know, Paul Millsap went out, JaMychal Green went out, Gary Harris went out. I mean, is anybody
Their 4 best defenders went out.
Anybody up their stock more than Gary Harris over the last 6 months with not even playing well?
Well, I mean, yes, but it's also like
Nobody has. Who?
I'm agreeing with you,
Oh.
but I'm just saying like PJ and Gary overlap, Paul
Yes.
and JaMychal overlap.
Yes. Yep.
So it's not just that you lost important guys, you lost their backups too.
Yeah.
And so now every night it's, you know, is Jokic not contesting enough? Are the guys not containing enough on the perimeter? Whether it's the chicken or the egg, it's not going to happen without these pieces. And it's really not a surprise that the defense has slipped so far since those guys went down.
Michael Malone sounds resigned to this. Tell me if you agree with this, Harrison, from what you've heard in these pressers. Malone doesn't make excuses, but there have been a little bit of, what do you expect? All of our defenders are out. And he's not necessarily wrong.
Yeah, their 4 best defenders are probably out of the lineup. Wouldn't you say?
4 of their 5, I would say.
Who else would you put in there?
Campazzo maybe belongs in there. I mean, Campazzo's defense is insane. I think he has like the third highest steal rate in the NBA.
Those 4 other over Campazzo if I needed somebody on defense. Just me. That's just me. Don't get mad at me.
Did you hear that, Argentina? He hates Campazzo. He hates him. He hates
Harrison
him.
Wind.
Yeah.
Harrison Wind.
I would just rather those 4 other guys. That's just me. But no, I agree. The excuses have been flying, but I think they're valid. I absolutely think they're valid. And the one stat that I keep coming back to with this Nuggets defense, Denver is allowing opponents on the season to shoot 70% from the restricted area.
Yeah.
That is an unbelievable number. If you look up on NBA.com, I could not find a team going back to however far NBA.com goes back. I think it's 95, 96.
Yeah,
that's
it
given
is.
up more than 70% in the restricted area for a season. And like they're the worst team in the league giving up shots, giving up a percentage in the restricted area by a long margin.
Yeah.
Like it's not even close. And I think a lot of that starts with the fact that Denver's guards can't keep anybody in front of them.
100%.
So that is true, but we also had the comment last night. We didn't actually talk about this last game, but
Jamal's
Jamal Murray
comment, yeah.
does come out and say we have no. I don't remember what the exact quote is, but we have no rim protection
Like
behind us.
No support in the middle. I
No
think is what
support
he
in the
said.
middle or something like that. Harrison and I'll throw it to all you guys because I know we all heard it now. Do you? Oh,
I mean,
were you tapping me?
No, it was an accident.
Oh
Sorry,
no!
buddy.
Did you see that as a? Was he calling out Jokic there?
I think so. And I think 2 things about it. First half of it, and I said this on the show, I think to some extent he's right. And I've maintained the point of attack defense, the lack of containment's the biggest issue because you can't expect Jokic to erase that, and I think that's true. But there are possessions, like, you can contest Raul Neto at the rim. Like, you're allowed to.
Right,
you don't have
yeah.
to take a step
Sure,
backward.
yeah.
So
Yeah. The thing is, though, like, Jokic can't get into foul trouble.
That's
if
a good
Jokic
point.
gets into foul trouble, the Nuggets are probably losing that game, or their win probability goes down like 50%.
Right.
But
So I've got to think he's thinking about that,
it's
too.
a great point, but trade one of those Euro fouls in then. You're willing to give up a personal foul there
Yeah.
once a game. Like, both things can be true, yeah?
Yeah.
Having said all that, has Jokic complained about Jamal's perimeter defense? Like, Jamal's been back for a week. So I thought it was a bit much for him to come out and maybe take a veiled shot at Jokic. But who knows? Maybe Jokic responds to that stuff.
Eric, did you see it as a shot at Yo?
I saw it as like I'm
Not
really,
even a shot,
I'm
but-
really frustrated with the way that this game just turned out, and I'm just talking extemporaneously about what's going wrong. When Jokic starts to slide defensively, the first thing that drops with him is he stops putting his hands up when people are attacking the rim. Like,
altogether, right?
he just won't even put his hands up. He'll watch balls go over his head that turn into alley-oop dunks. Like, he'll do things where, like you're saying, he's avoiding fouls, but like that, if you watch him, is always the first thing to slip. And Jokic is looking tired to me, understandably so. He's been carrying this team 100% on his back for this entire season. So I think a lot of it also is like that help side defense that Jokic counts on with players like Millsap and Jermichael Green and these other guys that can come in and sort of help him with that. Like,
Right.
Jokic is just never going to be a rim protector. Sometimes he like gets into the flow where he actually starts to block shots. Every time he does it, it's a total anomaly and sticks out. It's like a really loud thing. Like, oh man, Jokic blocked the
His
shot.
blocks
Like,
are almost steals.
totally
Because they're like, he
Right.
blocks them without like really jumping or
Totally.
whatever.
Yeah, that's great.
So I just think like when you're frustrated after a game like that, you just like talk. You're like, "Ugh." I don't think he views that as the issue with the Nuggets currently, but it was like, hey man, we need a little help sometimes because we're getting blown by, and like it's got to be a whole team effort. So yeah, I don't think you read into anything.
I don't think you read anything. I don't even know that he was necessarily calling out Jokic. I think it was more about a point of fact of like, yeah, we don't have that type of defense. We have to have a different type. And Jokic is. You talked about you think he's tired. I don't know if it's that. If you go back to the Utah series last year, the first 4 games before Gary Harris comes back, Jokic, we were talking, part of why we were so frustrated was, one, his offense wasn't playing at the same level, but also defensively, people were talking about, is he being played off of the court? Like, the defense was so bad, and him in particular. You got Gary Harris back, and all of a sudden that went away. And I really do think there's just something to, like, Jokic looks a little extra worse when there's none of this, because then he has to make the decision of, do I step up and contest it? The basket you're talking about, I remember the Neto drive, but there
were multiple Neto layups.
But there's a couple of these where he sticks to his guy. If you step out on Neto, lob over the top, and you get dunked on.
Right.
So
Sure.
the part of this is like, do I risk getting dunked on, or do I just point out that this guy got down? And so I don't know that it's necessarily fatigue. I don't know that it's necessarily he can't challenge him. I think it's just when it's a layup line, he picks and chooses when to get humiliated.
There's no doubt about it that he's put in an unfair position every night.
Right.
There's no doubt. But I do think it's okay to say, like, just looking at any given game at a time, this is not a big criticism of Jokic's season or anything like that. But, to Jamal's point, if those guys are going to be out, Jermichael Green, Paul Millsap, neither of which are real rim protectors to begin with,
right.
They just don't have that. And so he is right that it's one thing that they're just rolling out the red carpet, but it's also like there is no second line either.
Right.
And so these
Nerlens
layups are...
Noel. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, that's what you want? Are you off the Hartenstein
No.
train? Are we?
I gotta say,
I mean, that shouldn't come as a surprise. I've been saying that for a couple post games now.
my heart is breaking. I'm watching. We're like, the bar is like jam packed. We're having to turn people away.
It's not jam packed.
Well, jam-packed
according to to the
Jam-packed-
limit.
Just
To the limit.
what
There
I
are
mean
people
is,
being turned
what
away,
I mean
though.
is
That's a
everyone is
bummer.
maskless and they're all making out. Strangers are all touching one another. No, we're adhering to the guidelines, but we're full. It's a bummer.
Yeah, it is a bummer. I can't wait. We're not far, guys. We're not far. I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. So anyway, the month of February, I will say this as a way to transition out. I think the month of March has better things in store because the 2 most important pillars are now, over the last 7 games, looking fully optimized. Jokic, all year, but even a 50-point game very recently. Murray, 50-point game recently. He looks like he's 100% back. And now the reinforcements start to come back. And if those 2 things stay, and you just get regular everything else from Gary Harris,
Right.
Paul Millsap, JaMychal Green, PJ Dozier,
saying, man.
then I think you're good. Which brings us into the reinforcements.
The
So,
reinforcement ranking.
they're starting to come back. I suspect, and I don't know exactly what it is. I'll look at this beautiful.
Up,
There's
down.
This is
up,
a
down.
very creative graphic.
Yeah,
this
all
is
right.
some of your best
Yeah,
work.
this is some of your best
Listen,
work. You went deep in your bag here.
Listen, guys, I didn't really understand what the title meant.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah,
see
that's,
how you thought
that's
that.
clear. You pretty much just put a text box on there, Eric.
This is just like your default stencil for a.
Well,
graphic.
I feel like I did a good job of putting our heads on there.
Yeah,
No, that is true. Our heads
that was
are
good
on
touch.
there.
I omitted Dev because I knew he wasn't on the show tonight.
That's a great job. So, so the guys that are out, and I'm going to include PJ Dozier on this, even though he's back tonight. Coming into tonight, he was not back. Gary Harris, PJ Dozier, JaMychal Green, Paul Millsap. Eric, rank those in terms of most importance to Denver to least importance to Denver.
Did you say Gary Harris?
All the players that are out.
Gary Harris, number one, most important.
Okay. Dozier's in there, even though he's back tonight, but he has been out.
Dozier is not nearly as important as Gary Harris is.
Yeah,
Second
we're on
most
to number
important-
2 now.
Second most important. Well, you said PJ Dozier, so I was responding to. God damn it. Second most important would be JaMychal Green, comma Paul Millsap. Those two are like largely interchangeable, but JaMychal Green is younger and more spry. But somehow they're both like unbelievable 3-point threats.
The industry cop out, Eric, is 1A, 1B.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
1A,
there it
1B.
is. Yeah.
Good note. Yeah.
Put it in whatever order. I'll take the. You take the first pick. I'll take whoever.
I would say
you.
JaMychal Green. A healthy JaMychal Green is more valuable to this team at this point than Paul Millsap. 1B would be Paul Millsap. Then
It's 2. It's 2B, but it's all right. It's okay.
2B.
So 3.
And then PJ, and then
Greg Whittington.
I mean, we gotta.
He's back.
He's back, baby.
He's been back.
I hope he plays tonight.
At some point in time, he's gonna play. He's gonna have a lockdown.
Oh.
I
And
felt
I'm
like
it might be
could've used
tonight.
some
and I'm
Greg
just gonna,
Whittington.
I'm just gonna
might,
run
baby.
around the bar.
This feels like a Greg Whittington night.
I love that last night we did a whole segment about Whittington being back, and then Adam goes, "So does anyone think he'll play?" Oh no, God.
Well,
Not
because,
1
like,
second
he's
on the
never
court.
played. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, he might be back tonight. Harrison, what do you think of that order? How would you differ?
I like that order.
Thank you, Harrison.
It's a Harrison spot.
The thing is, I want to put PJ Dozier ahead of Paul Millsap.
No, you don't.
I want to.
You don't. But
I
you
love
would.
PJ
You would never.
Dozier.
Well,
I'm a
it's not
big PJ
No, Harrison's
Dozier
a
guy.
huge PJ
Wait
Dozier
till we
guy.
get to my list.
Harrison practically wrote PJ Dozier into the rotation this preseason.
Do you remember my bold take? Well, I guess this might not be on track that Dozier would play more minutes than Campazzo. He was trending that way,
true.
and then Campazzo's been like a 30-minute per game guy.
Yeah.
No, I like Eric's order. I think that's the right order. Gary Harris, JaMychal Green, Paul Millsap, PJ Dozier, but 2 through 4 are very tied together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it too, but it's bad content if we all agree. So I'm going to make the case that the Nuggets miss Paul Millsap more than anyone would infer from the tweets about Paul Millsap just about a month ago. This guy has lost a step, still a steadying force, still a solid floor spacer. And, hey, we talk about execution and all that. Maybe one too many times where Millsap takes the ball up the floor, turns it over. But as a whole, I think this unit is a little steadier when Dad's out there.
I love that you ended this with Dad. So my list would go Gary Harris number 1. I think that's clear. I think JaMychal Green. You know what? Nope. I'm going Dozier next.
Thank you.
I think Dozier. Here's the thing. The thing. In my perfect world, you have to cut somebody out, and the Nuggets do have a player in Will Barton that could take his space. But are you telling me you wouldn't prefer if the Nuggets had at this moment in time one of those guys, JaMychal Green or Paul Millsap, one of them, and then the rest of the power forward minutes went to
Zeke.
No, well, to either Zeke Naji
Yeah.
or Michael Porter, and you played PJ Dozier, because Denver has been going with these 3-guard lineups, which we don't love, but that's in large part because the third guard is Jamal Murray.
Right.
Whereas if PJ Dozier's out there, he's got the length.
If PJ Dozier's out there, they might win that game against the Wizards because they grabbed
definitely
one
do.
of those defensive rebounds.
They definitely do. It was a 2-point game. They needed anybody that could get a remote stop, and he would have 100% been that guy. I think that the Nuggets playing Michael Porter at the 4 is a good thing, and for that reason, I'm not putting both of the two bigs. They do need one of them, though.
Yeah,
They
but
do need one of them.
we are bemoaning the fact that the defense in the middle has fallen apart, and that's with Michael Porter Jr. available and playing and not providing any of that.
Yeah, but you add the up-front defense. You add the perimeter containment. You got Gary, I said Gary 1, of course, and PJ Dozier. If you get to play those two guys, I think you're problems at the rim, you don't talk about them.
I think that you're looking to spice up this convo. You're wrong. You're just wrong. There's just no way.
My question is.
I hope we might get PJ Dozier tonight. Well, Gary Harris isn't there, but we might get those guys soon, and then we'll get to find out.
PJ Dozier, if he plays tonight, is going to be terrible. He's going to be terrible for at least a week. Every player that comes back.
I think PJ Dozier probably could have come back. And I think he's been practicing and stuff, but they saw what happened to the Gary Harris.
Yeah.
Like, let's really make sure you're 100%. My question, though, is I think Zeke Naji needs to be in this rotation.
I love it. Love this take.
I think he's a player.
He's a player.
I
You
do
can
too.
obviously trust
I do
him on
too.
the defensive end.
I agree.
His three-point shot is for real. He's got to play. He's got to be in this rotation, even when Paul Millsap and JaMychal Green get healthy.
Thank you.
know?
Thank you. I agree.
So
Thank you.
So let's flesh this out all the way. Like, ideally, what does this look like? Hartenstein's out, right?
Yeah.
Your backup
yeah.
I still think he can play if needed. He's not maybe like your first guy, but
Yeah.
he can play those backup
only so
center
many-
minutes.
in that he's
bigs,
a
though, right?
basketball player. And
But I'm
he's a
saying if
warm
you are
body.
keeping Najee and Green and Millsap get healthy, and you're going to play PJ, at a certain point, someone's
Somebody's out, yeah.
Yo,
So-
it's going to be Najee. I mean,
Yeah,
come
of course.
on.
Here's
Good
what.
thing
Here,
the trade deadline's
Yo,
coming up.
I've made two bold. I've
happening.
made two loud proclamations that I get repeatedly clowned for, but I am right. Number one is Jamal
This is
being
an
back,
Adam
and
intro.
earlier was the Nuggets being back.
Feeling
The
himself.
Nuggets were back until the Nuggets got hurt.
You are right about that, actually.
When Gary Harris was playing at his height, and when we had a
6'4".
healthy Paul Millsap, and we had JaMychal
The D
Green
was
all
trending
hitting,
up. It's hard to
everything
remember
was
now.
coming into play.
Yeah.
Like you saw, like, okay, this is what this team can look like. We are in the doldrums of the season whereby we are looking to analyze the Denver Nuggets when the Denver Nuggets are currently different players than we want them to be.
Yeah, that's
Like
true.
when they are the players that, like we were talking about, just as a rough sketch of what the Denver Nuggets should look like. You have Jokic in the middle. You have offensive threat, but with he and Murray just showing what they did in the bubble, which is powerful enough to take you to the Western Conference Finals. You add a third scoring threat in Michael Porter Jr., and then you have people around them that can defend and allow those three to work on the offensive end, and then everything falls into place on the defensive end. Right now, we have nothing working for us on the defensive end.
That's so true. So true. There's nothing
Like
working.
that's like the Nuggets as currently being put on the floor have not been great, but that's because it's like not what they want. It's just like what they're left with.
Yeah.
not looking like a great offseason. This is also definitely not Tim Connolly's plan. You know what I mean? Like, let's see what RJ and Zeke have right away. Because
Yeah, but part of why they don't have any wings is because that a couple of injuries happen, and all of a sudden
I
they're
agree,
SOL. So
and that's a valid criticism, especially because guys like Gary and Barton at this point in their careers, you can't count on them to be there for a full season.
that's another good point. Sadly, all right, it's Eric's favorite time of the show. We crack open the DraftKings Sportsbook app, America's top-rated sportsbook app, and we preview this game by winning money.
My favorite part of the show, by the way, was when Harrison said I was right earlier.
It feels good,
I
doesn't
thought
it?
those rankings were very solid.
So for starters, Eric, I believe we have a parlay of sorts.
The Colorado parlay, is that what
Colorado
you're referencing?
parlay, baby.
Baby.
Let me see here.
You're not so high on the Colorado.
Let's see. The Nuggets
gonna be
are
a real
playing. let me
downer
help
if
you
you're
out.
not-
The Nuggets
yeah.
are playing. The
Well,
Avs are playing, and the Buffs are playing.
I don't know what the actual odds are because
So
I've
if you
not
bet
placed this bet
$10,
myself.
because I've already made this bet, if you bet $10, you win 28.61.
28-61, and that's taking the money lines on the Nuggets, the Colorado Avalanche, and the
CU
Colorado
Buffs versus UCLA. They're favored.
So I think
3
we
to
have
1
three
favorites.
favorites tonight.
They're all favorites.
Right.
They're all
So this
favorites.
is like-
the Avs are the closest one. The Avs, Coyotes at Coyotes.
So yeah, so if you wanted to understand what people mean when they say bet with your
Rudo,
head
how
and not with
confident
your
are we
heart.
in the Avs tonight? You heard it from the man.
Rudo is
Rudo.
100%
Lock it
confident.
in.
Yeah, wow.
Certify it.
Oh,
I should have put 100
100%
on this one. I should have put 100 units.
But if you want to understand the difference when people say you should bet with your heart or head and not your heart, taking the Colorado parlay, 100% a heart bet.
You can bet with your heart every once in a while.
You should bet with
It's
your heart.
good for your heart.
Parlays are a heart bet.
Yeah.
that's
Parlays
true.
are a heart bet. You just throw like $1 or $2 on it, and you win a little bit.
I lost all my money on the Super Bowl, so I sit these
This one
segments out. Yeah.
All right, Eric, I'm helping you out here.
Well, you're not helping me out. You're interrupting me. That's
Okay,
the
go for
difference. So, if we're looking at this
that.
game, the game that we're
that.
here to preview tonight, not the Buffs or the Avs, which are both slam dunks, we're looking at the Denver Nuggets versus the OKC Thunder. Tonight, Denver Nuggets favored by 7 points.
Ooh, I have 6.5. You have 7?
I have 7 points.
So
I have
between
6.5.
take it at 7. Take the under.
Quick,
Money is
take
going
it.
under.
Throw some units on it.
That's Warsaw. You have a better odds.
That is true.
You're actually in a better position.
We should be putting
Yeah,
units
you
on
should
it.
be putting money. So, I mean, the Nuggets have blown the Thunder out. I don't really know why tonight would be any different.
Because they're short guys and can't guard anyone.
Like again, you just don't know.
We just went over this.
Well, this I know, but
Well,
this
Nuggets only won by 2 points.
I was going to say it wasn't quite a blowout, if I
it
remember
was
correctly.
we played them twice, and one time
Right.
was an absolute blowout. We beat them by I think 19 points.
18 the first time, yeah.
Yeah.
18 the first time, 2 points 2 weeks ago.
Right. So I don't like point totals. I never like point totals, but I do believe the Nuggets will win this game.
Okay.
Diving into our favorite, the player
Let's get into the
props.
points. Yeah, let's get into the points
player
here.
props. This is where gambling really comes down
Ooh.
to it for me. For
Who's going to go off tonight? I mean, who is it?
So do you want the Stone Cold Dev superstar
Yeah.
Johnson lock?
Absolutely. Because I want to make fun of him if it doesn't go through.
He said,
If you call him Dev
I
Superstar
know.
Johnson, it really sounds different.
I
If you call him just Dev,
Superstar
Dev. Superstar Johnson is definitely a different
It's like a
nickname.
NASCAR. It sounds like a NASCAR
It's like a
driver.
wide receiver.
listen,
It may be something else. Yeah. I think I see
Wide
where you were
receiver,
going.
I guess. Yeah,
just one question. Do you want the pick or no? Do we? Tonight he likes SGA. Shy Gilgis or
Shay.
Shay.
Just call him SGA.
Shay. SGA. He likes SGA on points.
So he
likes-
wants us all to bet on the Thunder.
But he actually
All right,
also
well,
likes
let's
he also
do it.
likes
Let's go,
the
Thunder.
points, rebounds, assists for SGA.
Okay.
That's his bet.
That's his bet. I'm just telling you.
The PRA.
I'm telling you that's what his official bet was. So
Okay.
3 rebounds, assists.
if I
It's a little bit of a
myself
downer.
am-
I'm not going to lie, but
yeah. Well, the thing is that you should. Jamal Murray is in a place where you should not deny any Jamal Murray availability
Ooh, that's
for
a good
points.
point.
Jamal Murray 3-pointers have risen by 1. It's
Holy
been
crap.
2.5. It's now up to 3.5. But
Oh.
as has been pointed out, he's shooting 2 more threes per game.
That's tough, though. 3.5's a lot.
3.5 is tough, but he's been hitting like 5 a game. Like,
You know
I'm
what?
not going to stop betting that.
and it's
until
also
he-
fun betting for 3-pointers because like you cheer when he gets it. You're like
Yeah.
excited.
It's true.
Whereas if you're betting unders, you're like rooting the whole game for him not to
Yeah.
make it
Totally.
through. Like, come on now.
Like another thing to look at if you're looking to make money, not to feed your heart here, is our good man Lugens Dort. Lou Dort
I gotta start handing you
over
the-
13.5 points.
So we're taking Shea, we're taking Dort.
We're taking money, baby.
Wow,
13.5 is very low for Lou.
such good vibes. I think I'm.
It's good to know that Eric's fandom is fully for sale.
Is there anybody else we should take?
Well, I'm betting the Nuggets will have more points than
Right.
the total of the Oklahoma
all right.
City at the end. But these are winning bets.
okay.
Anything else stick out to you?
So
what do you
well,
like? on this
let's go
board?
through the players real quick. Monte's on the line. He's not always on the line. Monte's on the line tonight for 12.5, which
Yeah.
I think is interesting in a game that PJ Dozier's coming back. Because presumably he's going to play tonight. I think he's going to play for sure.
Monte scored 12 points the other night against Washington. 12 on the dot.
But that's why 12.5. It's interesting that he's on the docket. I don't like that one. Michael Porter at 14.5. You guys know I love betting on Michael Porter because 14.5. If he scores, the points just come so easy. You know, like
Yes.
if he gets them now, he has a minus 129. I almost wish I could get you can get an alternative line for a player, can't you? Or no? I can't get him. I can't like buy it down. I don't think I can actually.
I don't think so.
14.5. Not great odds, but you know what? Whatever. I'm gonna put a unit on it.
So you can get plus money on Michael Porter Jr. over 2.5 threes. He hit 3 threes the other
Oh.
night against Washington.
Oh, I
I
love that
like
one.
that. I
I
feel like
love
he's
that
going to hit
bet.
3
Yeah.
again.
Yeah, he's due
You get
for,
plus money on
Yeah,
that.
you got to ride the trends here, and the trends are Jokic's scoring is a little bit down, so it's hard to like really bank on his points at this point in time. Then we have
Did you say
Jamal
Jokic's points are down?
just over the last couple games. Like he hasn't had the eye of the Joker in
Yeah.
the same way. Jamal Murray's stock going up. Michael Porter Jr.'s stock going up. So I like basically anything with those two guys involved.
Okay. Jokic is. I'm looking at his last few games.
Who do we like for
You re-
first field
So
goal
Jokic last few games has been down. 2 games ago he had
I know.
41.
What?
Oh, Adam's trying to make a point here. The last game he had 24.
That's pretty good. 24.
Yeah, but that was his
21.
that was
And
under.
then to your point, he was in the teens 2 games before that.
What a son of a bitch. He knows that I'm right, but he just wants to.
Is he right? Is he right? I don't know if he's
Yes.
right. I don't know if he's right.
Yes. I
We're
am
48
right.
hours from him dropping 41, but no.
I think he's shooting as much as he ever has lately.
He is
so.
shooting, man.
How many FU threes tonight? That could factor into the
Ooh.
over-under.
That's a good point.
He does. I'm telling you, I was watching. I put this in the company or the group Slack, but I was watching the games, and Jokic took 2 threes in a row, and I swear to God, they were like, because Barton took a terrible one, Murray took a terrible one and made it. MPJ took a not terrible one, but he also made it. And then the next play, like Jokic comes down and jacks one. It makes it.
Usually,
and I was like, if all these guys just say "f you" to each other and jack threes, we're good.
Usually, when Jokic shoots in the first 3 seconds of the shot clock, that three, it's a protest shot. I think.
Yeah,
yeah, for sure. All right. Well, you know what? Al Horford did. Jokic needed a revenge game against Al Horford because Al Horford kind of like had some moments against him. So
yeah,
he had like
it.
14 in the first.
Yeah, so
No
I
one
like
guarded him.
Revenge Jokic game. Unlike D-line, I'm feeling Jokic. But then point remains. I am really bad at my last 2 bets.
Yeah, Adam gets crushed on bets. He then makes fun of me. I do great on my bets. But the thing is that this is a game where you have to be very wary of a 3-point or a 3-quarter performance from the Denver Nuggets. Like there is
Just
a chance
this one, just this game.
Against this particular opponent.
more like every game they play.
This could easily be garbage time. I don't know for sure, but this could be a garbage time game.
All right, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Saturday night, hopefully a winner's lounge. We're going to be back here right after the game. We'll see you all then. Peace.